Chapter 3. The Call of Courage is a Curious Thing. Simba was lazily swaggering through the savannah. He was caught up in his thoughts. It was such an enigma to him, just how someone could muster up enough inner strength to tell the one you adored just how you felt. It seemed so dangerous. Love. Then again, what on earth did that even mean? Simba knew how to express himself and his feelings. Well, most of the time, and most of his emotions anyway. The things he loved to do. Going on hunts, hanging out with Nala, singing, dancing. He did them with passion. At least that's the word the adults used. When he asked them about love, he was mostly met with chuckles and discouraging statements like, "We'll tell you when you're older." He was older. Older than last month at least. So what was the difference between his passions and what he felt for Nala? By what he had heard from some birds, the feeling that he felt must have been love. Or maybe him and Nala were just really close friends, and what he felt was a strong bond of friendship. How could he know? Besides Nala, the only other cubs in the pride were either part of that dreadful gang of Kohishas or Nala's twin brother Mito. The cubs in the gang obviously wouldn't be able to tell him what love actually was, or what it felt like. These dunces probably didn't know it themselves, although that didn't stop them from joking about them. The question was still there. What is love? What the shit is love? Oh man, why do things always have to be so complicated? Simba muttered to himself. Suddenly, Simba heard a yell. "Let go of me! Somebody help!" "That sounds like me too," said Simba and started to run towards the voice. After a few minutes, he finally arrived. He instantly spotted Kohisha's gang. They had, just like before, formed a circle, and in their midst cowered Mitu. They took turns scratching him. He winced each time their claws went through his fur. It was one thing for Simba if he was bullied by these idiots, but seeing someone else have to suffer, that was different. Especially if that someone happened to be Nala's brother. Simba felt a burning sense of anger ignite inside of him. He came charging down the hill, yelling, "You bastards! Leave him alone!" Before any of the cubs could react, Simba had already managed to pin Kohisha down. After a split second of surprise, Kohisha, without much effort, pushed Simba off of him. Then he ordered the other cubs to get him. And before Simba knew what had happened, he was being held down by 3 cubs. He tried to free himself, but found that he could barely move. Meanwhile, Mito had gotten up, but wasn't moving. Instead, he looked at the whole scene in disbelief. "Look who decided to come back. Did little Princess Simba want to be a hero for her boyfriend?" Kohisha teased. More irritated than annoyed, Simba responded. "Why do people think that I got something going on with Mito? First Nala and now you." This spawned a few more giggles from the gang. "So you're telling us that we are the only ones who think that you only hang out with Nala to get her brother?" Simba rolled his eyes. "Kohisha, if I was gay, you would probably know by now. Now why don't you fight me head on instead of hiding behind your goons?" The gang fell silent. "Coming from the princess who just a few seconds ago tried to attack me from behind? Well, whatever," Kohisha said arrogantly. "Let him stand." He ordered his cubs and they obeyed. Once Simba was back on his feet again, he growled at Kohisha. "Ready?" he asked with fury in his eyes. "Not quite. I first want to know something. When did you develop these guts? You weren't that brave before. What happened?" Simba looked deep into Kohisha's eyes. You may attack me, but don't bring others into this, especially not if they are my friends. Kuisha chuckled again.
Now that is an admirable thing to say.
Though it won't help you in this fight, princess. Simba squinted his eyes tighter in anger. I may not know what admirable means, but I take it as a compliment. Just as he had finished this sentence, did he leap at Kuhisha, who, in turn, avoided Simba's attack, strafing to the right. Simba fell flat on his face, but got up again quickly, and went into an offensive stance, ready to strike again. However, he didn't attack. He was waiting. What's the matter, princess? Scared? Simba smirked. Oh no, I just want to see if you can attack too, or if all you do is twirl out of the way. Didn't you say that I was the one who was always dancing like a ballerina? Kuisha scoffed. Alright, you want an attack? Then get ready to get wrecked, he said, and jumped at Simba, seemingly pinning him down. But Simba used the momentum to roll and fling Kuhisha off of him in a somersault-esque motion, sending him crashing into his own gang. Simba knew that they wouldn't be knocked out for long, so he got up and tugged Mitu by his arm. Nala's twin brother got out of his trance and reacted accordingly. The two cubs ran as fast as they could. A few minutes later, they had escaped the nasty gang and were now hiding in an air pocket of a flooded cave. Simba was still aghast by the beauty of this cave. Light shone into the cavern from a few fissures far up above. Stalactites and stalagmites dangled from above or seemingly rose from the ground upwards. How did you know about this cave, Mitu? Simba asked wizardly. Blushing, Mitu answered, Oh, it's nothing. I just came across it during the last drought. Wow, Simba said, admiring the geological rock formations. You know, we really should do something about these cubs. Perhaps tell their parents, said Mitu. Seriously? Simba turned away from the stalagmites and towards Mitu with a look of disbelief on his face. Are you dumb or something? If we tell our parents, then we'll be known all over the Pride Lands as the biggest pansies, Simba said while dramatically circling Mitu. I can hear Kuhisha right now. Oh, did Princess feel scared? Did she run back to her mummy and daddy because the big scary meanie was making fun of her? Simba said while speaking with the most demeaning voice possible and making uptight faces. I'm not gonna give Kuhisha that satisfaction. Simba grew increasingly temperamental. Why do you even care what an idiot like Kuhisha thinks about you? Asked Mitu. I don't, thundered Simba. Then why don't you do the reasonable thing? Tell your father about it. Your father is the king of the Pride Lands, you know. Mitu just didn't understand Simba. He himself hadn't done anything about these bullies because his mother had been far too busy in the last few weeks, and he didn't want to bother her. As for telling the king about it, Mitu believed himself to be far too insignificant to ever be listened to by Mufasa. But Simba was the king's son, and he didn't tell him because Mitu honestly didn't know. Oh no, Simba growled as he forced Mitu to back away. You're not gonna give me the same shit your pretty sister already told me. Simba's face was only a few centimeters away from Mitu's. In a snake-like hiss, he told Mitu, I'm not a pansy. I am the fierce and powerful prince of the Pride Lands, and if you... Wanting to take another step forward, Simba stumbled over a root and lost his balance, falling face first into Mitu's face. His eyes grew wide as he quickly backed away from Mitu, and in doing so stumbled yet again and toppled over. This had been, involuntarily as it was, his first kiss. Simba's mind didn't know what to make of this, and Mitu seemed to be too stunned to talk. For starters, it had been short and rather dry, which in Simba's books was good. Then again, he had no idea what a kiss was supposed to actually feel like. Sure, His mother and father kissed him goodnight every night, but that was different. Then he realized that he had been lying there for about a minute without saying anything. Bah! He got back up again. Did you just kiss me? To Mita's surprise, the disgust in Simba's voice wasn't as strong as he had anticipated. I mean, it was more like you kissed me because you... He didn't get to end that sentence. Dude, not cool. I stumbled. You could have moved out of the way. What the hell, man? You gay or something? Simba asked defensively. Well, you see... Mita shifted from one paw to the other. You... are? No, that can't. Simba tried to find the right words but failed. Do you hate me now? Asked Mitu while avoiding Simba's stare. Are you serious? Simba was aghast by this question. I mean, I haven't been honest with you, and now this happened, and I must be totally disgusting to you, and... Mitu started to hyperventilate. Simba went over to him and placed a paw on his shoulders. Surprised, Mitu looked at Simba and gave him a calming glance. Mitu, look, I don't know why you would think that I'd hate you, but I don't. You might at times be a bit of an unnecessary tag-along when me and Nala are doing stuff, but you're a nice chap to be around. You're very imaginative, and you tell great stories whenever Nala and I can't sleep at night. Mitu slowly started to relax. Then Simba had a thought that quite a lot of probably straight folks have upon learning that someone they know is gay. Do you have a crush on me? He asked. Mitu's eyes shifted rapidly from left to right. Well, kind of, yes, he admitted. Simba would have lied if he claimed that he didn't feel his self-esteem increase quite a bit by this admission. I don't really know what to say to that, he started. You sure you're not mad at me? Mitu asked timidly. Honestly, I'm flattered. I'm a bit jealous too, Simba said as he started to absent-mindedly scratch around in the cave dirt. Mitu tilted his head in confusion. What would you be jealous about? Okay, said Simba, as if bracing himself for fatal impact. I, too, have a secret, though I'm not sure if it's really what I think it is. If I tell you, could you promise not to laugh? I promise, Mitu answered with full honesty. All right, said Simba. I think I have a crush on Nala, and I haven't told her yet. That's why I'm jealous of you. You already know, you truly know that you have a crush on me, and you even had the guts to tell me. Mitu blinked a few times before he responded. Wait, are you telling me that you, the Prince of the Pride Lands, the fierce Prince of the Pride Lands, the cub that just a few minutes ago took a dozen other cubs, is too shy to confess his feelings to my sister? Putting it like that made Simba look even more like a pansy. Suddenly, Mitu hugged Simba. Oh, that's so adorable, he said. Simba growled. Me too. I don't hate you, but I do hate unannounced hugs, Simba said with a warning tone. Mitu retracted immediately with a sheepish smile on his face. Sorry, but with all the rough exterior of yours, it's sometimes just really cute to see you being as helpless as a deer in headlights. Simba rolled his eyes. Yeah, why don't you and your sister just create the Ain't Simba Cute fan club? Mitu chuckled. Come on now. You have to admit that it's kind of cute how you are so scared of telling her. I'm not scared, hissed Simba. Mitu put on a know-it-all face and said, Then why haven't you told her yet? Simba's eyes swiftly looked to his right and left as he thought of a good answer. Well, But how come you didn't tell me sooner about how you were feeling towards me? He stammered more than asked. Mito answered. I was afraid of not only being made fun of, but also maybe getting beat up. This way. I already told my sister, but I waited with you. Was Mito serious about this? Simba was a bit hurt in his pride by that statement. I would never hurt a friend of mine. Annoyed, Mito answered. Well, I didn't know that back then. And that still doesn't answer why you haven't told Nala yet. Well, I mean, why haven't you tried to face these bullies head on, huh? I had to save you today, remember? Simba tried to avoid answering Mito, but Mito was having none of it. I haven't done that because I am, once again, afraid that they might beat me up. You still haven't answered me. Well, you see, you're gay. The half-hearted excuse of an insult barely got a reaction out of Mito, who just sighed annoyed. You don't have any good reason not to tell her, am I right, Simba? You're just really shy. Fine, I'm scared of how she will react, and I'm not sure if I'm in love with her, at all, Simba said in defeat. Well, I mean, do you think about her even when she's not here? And do you feel your heart beat a little faster when she is? Do you miss his fuzzy, fabulous fur as it sometimes accidentally brushes against yours, and his adorable little attempts at roaring, and how he just keeps on trying as if it wasn't a matter of patience until he would have a real roar? Simba blushed as Mito obviously shifted the subject matter from being in love to things that he liked about Simba. Mito, you do realize that I'm still here? Simba asked. Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. What I was trying to say was that that's what it feels like to be in love, Mito answered. Well, then, I guess I'm in love with Nala. A moment of silence passed between the two cubs. Then Mito spoke again. You know what? How about a bet? He suggested. What kind of bet? The kind where each one of us has to do something before the other one does it, and the loser has to do a thing that the winner proposes. Mito answered. All right, and what do you bet? Simba asked. I bet that I will manage to face Kuhisha's gang before you, my prince in shining armor, will have made the first move on my sis. Now that truly was an interesting challenge for Simba. Okay, and what do I have to do if you win? Simba asked. You tell her and me what your first kiss really felt like, Mito answered. Didn't the blech from before answer that question well enough? Asked Simba. Well, if it wasn't for the half of a minute of silence between the kiss and the blech, I would agree, Mito said slyly. Alright, whatever. If I win, you will be my servant for a day and fulfill my every wish. Also, you'll have to address me as Simba, the big-maned and mightily roaring prince of the Pride Lands, Simba said. A wee bit insecure, are we? Snarked Mito. Is it a bet then? Asked Simba, ignoring Mito's comment while holding out his front paw. It's a bet, Mito answered and touched Simba's paw. Mito, could you not tell my father or mother that I cursed today? My father is a real tight ass about using swear words, Simba added. Sure thing, chuckled Mito. End of chapter 3.